It is that time. What's going on, guys? It's me, Westtown HD. Today, guys, we are coming back at you with another discussion video. Today, guys, we're going to give you our initial impressions for the Nintendo Switch Lite. But I am not alone today. Joining me, we have Ryusei.
Hey, everybody.
And we have the boy, the goat, Sosuke the bro.
Hey, how's it going, everyone?
And yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. So guys, Nintendo this morning, out of nowhere, out of completely nowhere, I woke up, put on some pants, threw my hat on, recorded that reaction video. Nintendo out of the blue said, Nintendo Switch Lite, it's happening. It's gonna be a successor to the 3DS in theory, because it's basically gonna be people who want to play Pokemon but don't want to like spend $300 for a Switch.
Pretty much.
Overall, I really like it. The sleek design looks really crispy. The colors they come in, that yellow looking crispy. My favorite is probably the gray. The gray and white looks really nice. It's got a D-pad as well. In theory, Nintendo would release Joy-Cons with D-pads. I don't know. People really want the D-pads. I can see the outcry for it. Personally, I just don't use the Joy-Cons too much, so I don't really have the issue. But what do you guys think of the Nintendo Switch Lite so far?
Well, the thing that's like the main thing they're saying is like, oh, it's slightly cheaper. It's gonna be cheaper than the. It's gonna be a 3DS, but it's gonna be cheaper than the Switch. Here's the problem: it's only $100 cheaper.
Yeah, that is true. Although keep in mind, so it's launching for 199 USD, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
When the new 3DS came out, it was like 179, right?
I think so. I don't remember off the top of my
I know
head.
it's really close in price point to what the new 3DS was at launch.
The thing this game is like it's only $100 difference, and you could if you save up for just $100 more, you get more out of it.
Oh yeah, you got a dock, you got the HD Rumble.
Yeah.
Like in theory, it really should be discounted a bit more because not only do they cut out the HD Rumble, but they also don't have a dock, and the docks themselves go for like another extra $100 by themselves.
Not only, like it can't dock at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Like they cut out the HD Rumble, Joy-Cons. They cut out the emotion. There's actually a camera on the Switch that they cut out for the Lite.
What the hell? There is?
I'm looking at the bottom of that page, and HR motion camera included.
I did not notice that.
Yeah, you can't. No TV mode, no tabletop mode. That's another thing.
Oh,
no
the
mode.
IR motion. So that's basically if
Right.
you look at the bottom of your right Joy-Con, like and how it has that little black half at the end of it, that kind of makes it look like a Wii remote and whatnot. That little bit is not part of this one. So basically, it's just like, for example, games like World of Goo or like other Wii games that required like IR sensors will not be compatible with this.
Yeah, so certain games are just going to be pain in the ass to play with. Like, does this even have? Wonder how this is going to work with Breath of the Wild.
Well, it still has the gyroscope in it.
Okay.
It still has like motion controls, but kind of like how the new 3DS had motion controls, and like it's not like how if you took the Joy-Cons off the Switch and tried to do motion controls, it would like bug out and stuff. It's just kind of, I believe the motion controls are centered at the back of the screen for gyro.
Yeah, okay. I was thinking more along the lines of how something like, is it going to be more comfortable to play The World Ends With You Final Mix with the Switch Lite compared to doing
Here's the thing.
TV mode?
Well, here's the thing. The Lite, I'm looking at like I'm looking at the people who are playing multiplayer with the normal Switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
That Lite is not that much smaller than a normal Switch. Like,
I'd say it's around the same size.
Yeah.
At first glance, I would say it is the same size.
Yeah. It's supposed to be smaller than the Switch.
Although I think the Switch screen is a pretty decent size. I think shrinking it down, you would lose some of that stuff. Because some of the text in some games, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 has some really small text at times.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be murder on the eyes.
Just sitting there shrinking.
Especially people who need to wear glasses.
Like me.
And me. Even though I don't need to wear it for playing Switch handheld, but
still.
Overall, what are your thoughts, Sosuke?
My thoughts on it, I like it. I'm not gonna lie, initially when I first saw it, like, on my phone, I was just like, this is fake. And then I scrolled through Twitter and saw like, oh, shit. Nintendo actually tweeted it out, it's real. Overall, it's a nice alternative. I might pick one up for myself in the future and just strictly leave the actual, like, regular Switch at home and just use that to go back and forth, and I can just carry my save data from one to the other. Overall, a good option for those who don't want to constantly have to pick it up out the dock and mess up the screen.
That is true, it is true. Although there are a few things that like I feel like would be musts for a console that's going to be heavily portable based. Like there's still no stylus with this.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And games like The World Ends With You that use heavy touch controls, or like Mario Maker games that like really rely on touchscreen controls, would be a little difficult to do with. Like I have a stylus that I just had laying around that was used for my phone at one point, and it works really well with my Switch. But to the average consumer who doesn't have a stylus, you would think that a stylus would come bundled in with this one.
Yeah, honestly, I expected the stylus to come with the regular Switch. And this is just like a me thing for when I'm typing like out tweets I send out of random screenshots of videos in game, or even playing a game that has you type things out to communicate with other players. I always felt like it should have had a stylus because my left Joy-Con is like drifting a lot, so it's harder to type and my fingers are a little too big. So like typing with the touchscreen is very odd.
Yeah, another thing that's getting me is that they didn't make the ends of this a little more comfortable. Like I've played the Switch in handheld mode. It's fine, but if you're gonna make this a handheld only, you should have made those ends a lot more comfortable to hold.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
It's literally just a whole Switch. Like it's just a Switch, just full on solid.
My only like issue with playing the Switch in handheld mode is that after a while, if you're laying in bed and you're like holding it above your head or holding it up and like looking up at it, then it gets pretty heavy after a while. But at the same time, it's like it's a good weight, like it feels satisfying to hold, but you get tired after a while. So I don't know if they'd make this version lighter. Lighter, get it? But
yeah, it's just like I said. I wish there was. There's a few other, like, what was the other thing I was thinking of? Oh, another thing that you're not gonna get probably take a while for people to get with this is the amount of customization you can do just with aftermarket with your Switch is ridiculous.
Oh, you mean like all the D-brand skins and whatnot?
Yeah. No, not the skins. I'm not talking about skins. People have made custom shells for your Joy-Cons and back of your Switch.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
Oh.
This is harder because now they have to make a solid back piece. And I don't know if you can even mess around with the front end.
So it might be a little bit harder.
Although I'm thinking about it now, so have you guys played Mario Odyssey?
Yeah, for a little while.
I have not.
Mario Odyssey is very heavily based with motion controls. Like you have to like swing the Joy-Con certain ways to do specific motions, and in handheld mode that doesn't translate too well. Mario Odyssey is one of like the Switch's like bigger titles, I would say, because a lot of people love 3D Mario games and whatnot. So that'd be a little difficult to play in handheld mode.
Here's a question.
That is a good.
Actually, no, they have a mode for it. I was thinking Pokemon Let's Go, but
Pokemon Let's Go in handheld mode, I figured was the definitive way to play because you didn't have to do any motions, just literally tap the A button, you can throw a Pokeball. That's how I played most of the game.
Yeah.
But while we're on the topic of Pokemon, they also confirmed that there is a limited edition Pokemon Nintendo Switch Lite Zacian and Zamazenta edition. Which
is interesting. No, it's the exact same price as the normal version.
Because this one doesn't come with the game.
Of course.
Yeah, but even if it's a limited edition, you think it would cost a little more.
That is true, but if you remember, when they released the Majora's Mask new 3DS, it was the same price.
True, it's just when you think of a special edition, you think I'm
it's
expecting it to be a little more. It could have been like 220.
At least a little something extra.
I'm looking very forward to it. I'm like planning to try and get a hold of one for my mother as like an early Christmas gift because she really wants to play the new Pokemon games, but she doesn't have a Switch. And I think this is really like the perfect in between because it's a bit cheaper and it's only handheld mode and she doesn't use the TV at all anyway. So
I wonder if they're gonna have a bigger internal memory for this thing.
Oh, bigger than 32? Yeah. That could be 64 could be
64 would be
64
great.
Could be great.
And another thing, and this is for what you're saying. From my knowledge, it's hard to transfer saves with the Switch right now, isn't it?
Something about you have to link up the console and then you have to like move the entire account, and once the account is moved, you can't move it back for like 20 days or something like that. Or it's really convoluted right now. Once you you can upload everything into the cloud, and I believe once it's uploaded into the cloud, then you're good. But specific games like say Pokemon, Dark Souls, I think Monster Hunter doesn't support it either. Games that don't support it, you have to manually transfer over. You'll lose that save data.
Oh god, that's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's around I can't speak. Wow, it's around the same thing as what the Vita did. Ugh.
Oh yeah, where it was like, well, the Vita only allowed you to have one account per Vita. The Switch at least allows you to have multiple accounts per Switch.
I mean, like, it's just a pain in the ass to do something that you can do with other systems.
Yeah.
It is true, but that brings up an interesting point, because I'm not sure if maybe this is why the price point is a bit higher than what we think it should be, but do you guys think they would maybe spice up the processor in it a bit to make some games that run on the regular Switch handheld mode run better in this one? Because, for example, like Hyrule Warriors, I think runs at like a shaky 60 frames, but runs at a smooth 60 frames in docked. Whereas handheld, it like when the Switch goes into handheld mode, it loses a bit of what the dock gives it. So I'm almost wondering if a console that can't be docked would have a bit more processing power to it.
I also wonder if it's gonna have a better battery life.
That too.
Like,
because
the processor and battery life are important.
Because this is related to what you're saying, Blake. If you were to play Breath of the Wild in portable mode, just as you would on docked, your Switch would last maybe an hour and a half.
That's
2
true.
hours maybe.
I think max settings Breath of the Wild the Switch lasts about 2 hours on a good day. Like it's
on a good day.
So in order to make this a really marketable item, it had to last 3.5 to 4 hours just to feel worth it. Because otherwise, you play 2 hours. Oh crap! I have to charge this.
Well, since they are marketing as a Lite, I can see them adding a few things to specifically make it function better in handheld mode. Like, I feel like a different processor in general is a good step in the right direction, and they could probably double the Switch's battery life.
Yeah, they're gonna have to in order to market this as a portable-only thing.
Which, that led to something I was thinking about. When you look at the picture for the Zacian and the Zamazenta Switch, you see, like, it has that splash screen of, like, the two different colors of the Pokemon on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they're gonna have, hopefully, with the release of the Switch Lite, add at least themes of some kind to go along with it. And be like, oh, if you buy the Zacian and Zamazenta, you get this unique theme to that version of the console, which I don't support that kind of practice, but it at least would open the way for Switch themes and hopefully updated icons on the Switch.
Hopefully.
I've been wanting the themes on the Switch for the longest time, but I feel like if they did add themes to the Switch, they'd have to be super simplistic, because it takes a lot, I've heard, out of the Switch in order for it to suspend that game and then come back to the main screen. And like, you know how if you hit the home button, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be instantaneous.
Yeah.
But if you have like a GIF or footage or something that will bog down the Switch, your Switch will start to heat more up than usual, and it'll probably take a bit longer to hit the home screen. Like, I remember when Smash Bros came out on 3DS, it would take upwards of 5 to 10 seconds on the old 3DS to get back to the home button.
Oh jeez.
It took a while, so they kind of got to strike that balance. I mean, of course, I think they could do more than just like white and gray. I think we could probably get like just like different colors. Like, just let us like do like pink or red or like just different, just something to make it feel different. The Switch has been out for like 2.5 years now. It feels like it needs a bit more, or like a big system overhaul. I think PS4 got a big system overhaul a couple years into its lifespan.
Yeah, it did. Just like thinking about themes, like they don't have to be super complex like some of the 3DS themes, where like it has a music and like a whole different type of layout for like the UI as a whole. Just like give it a color and like a picture of what the theme is to go along with it, just to kind of balance things out. And as it progresses, maybe you can make like less cost hardy themes in the future, but that are a little more active and just kind of progress slowly till, you know, you have those really good looking themes.
Yeah, and I'm wondering what's been removed from this thing, because I'm looking at the bottom of the Lite, right?
Okay.
And it looks like it has the same connection port that the regular Switch has. So I'm wondering what hardware and software has been removed from this device.
That is true, because I mean, in theory, unless you can, like, imagine you could charge it in a dock, but you just can't, it won't display anything on the TV, because those prongs are what the Switch slides into for the dock. So the fact that it still has it, like, that would really only be useful for, like, third-party accessories that are, like, Switch stands, like, charge stands. they could probably be compatible with it, but at the same time, it's not compatible with tabletop mode because you can't take the Joy-Cons off.
Yeah.
And do we know if you can connect like a Pro Controller or other Joy-Cons to this thing, or is it just the controllers that are in it?
Actually, we haven't heard anything about that yet. I've been wondering about that.
It's not compatible with Joy-Cons because you can't sync. The Joy-Cons sync up to a Switch by docking them.
That is true. So that probably means it doesn't have any Bluetooth in it either, because the Switch controllers are all Bluetooth. I'm almost wonder if they cut out the NFC readers. They probably didn't, because they had one in the new 3DS for Amiibos and whatnot. So I'd imagine they left that in. But it's going to be interesting to see, because right now they haven't really given us too much information to go off of. The website's just like, hey, it doesn't have HD Rumble, it doesn't have IR camera, not compatible with Joy-Cons, so on and so forth. But I don't know. From what we can tell, it seems like it's going to be like a good... I think this is probably going to be best marketed towards parents that want to save that $100 just to save the $100. I don't think kids are going to complain if they can't play it on the TV, because I mean, if this is really kids are going to be able to lay down in their bed and play Fortnite on this thing. That's all they want.
Yeah, and that's all they're looking for.
Though I do think this is basically the nail in the coffin. 3DS is officially done. I think Persona Q2 was the last game they had announced for it, right?
Yes, that is officially the last 3DS game.
So the timing for this actually seems right then, since Persona Q2 just came out about a month ago.
And speaking of that, I feel like a little while after the Switch Lite comes out, we're probably going to get Persona Q 1 and 2 on the Switch.
Like enhanced editions, or you think maybe they'd like rework them?
Like probably like they'll touch up like the character models a little bit more to look like some of the YouTube videos you see where it doesn't look as jagged.
It'll probably just be like an HD version of it.
Yeah. And
with a few modified,
change the map.
With a few things to modify for it being on the Switch instead of a 3DS.
Yeah.
That's true. So I don't know if they're still bringing games out for the Vita, but do you guys think this would take over the Vita in Japan?
Possibly.
Yeah, it's probably going to.
At this point, Japanese people, like, I think there was a survey a long time ago when the Switch first came out of like people in Japan that played their Switches at home versus like in handheld, and most like 80% of Japan does not use the dock. So this will probably be, although I think they already sell a version of the Switch which is cheaper than this one that comes without the dock. I think it's like $179.
I've not seen that.
Like I'm not surprised that they play more outside the dock due to how they work,
and they're always on trains, always traveling, kind of thing. So it does make sense for that. So especially if Sony is cracking down on censorship and whatnot, and the Switch Lite is right here, willing to take any of that without censorship. So I think this could, knock on wood, I think it could surpass the Vita.
I kind of hope so we can get some of those games that were on the Vita on the Switch.
Yeah, we could use some of those games. Like, there's a few games on there I wouldn't mind playing.
Please port Persona 4 Golden.
Yes, please.
I don't care because I already played and beat Golden.
I just want to play it again.
I would love all the Persona games just on Switch. Persona 3, just remake 3, because they have because of the dancing games, they have 3 and the 5 engine, so they could easily rework that. But I don't know. I think that's basically it, though. I think we basically covered everything. Was there anything you guys wanted to talk about before we got up out of here?
Off the top of my head, I'm trying to think. Was there anything else?
I'm thinking and drawing a blank. Not really.
So this guy's coming out in September 20th, right?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
With the Pokemon version coming out on November 8th,
which is like a week before the games come out.
Clever marketing.
Clever marketing indeed. Well, we've basically given all of our thoughts, so we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you to everyone that watched the video. If you guys did enjoy it, go ahead and leave a like on it. Comment down below. Let me know how excited you guys are. Sosuke, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at AudisuSosuke and on YouTube as Sosuke the Bro.
Excellent. Ryusei, you want to plug your social media?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment? Alright. Ryusei remains a mystery. Either way, though, guys, I will keep you posted. Subscribe to the channel for more Nintendo Switch Lite news in the future, and I will see you guys in the next video. Deuces.
Bye.
Laters.